Hi there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be reacting to Defunctland, the history of Action Park. So, I've watched a few videos from different channels about, like, you know, like, history involving, like theme parks and stuff, like Abandoned by Bright Sun Films, stuff like that. And I am, I've heard horror stories. I've seen stuff about Action Park. Like, never anything specific, but I know that it is known as just being this wild park. And I've also seen some other VTubers react to this, so I'm gonna jump into this too. So let's jump in and see the history of Action Park.
New and improved and open once again.
Fantastic. Anna Gilligan is there this morning. Hello, Anna.
Open once again. Does that mean it had to close for some reason?
Yeah, I think you're seeing some guys jump off the Tarzan jump here at Action Park. It's been closed.
That's just a rope on a bridge.
They reopened it on June 14th. I'm here with the owner, Andrew Mulville.
Closed since
He's also the
'96.
son of the man who founded it. Thanks for being here.
It's great to be here. Thanks for coming out. What a day we have. It's beautiful.
Those strings are ominous. I got some ominous feelings here.
Action Park got a bit of a reputation.
Oh, what did that say?
So
What did that say?
you because Action Park got a bit of a reputation.
35 horror stories that prove Action Park was the most dangerous park ever. What the fuck? Action Park, the shocking true story of America's most dangerous theme park, a place where minors could drink alcohol freely and people of any age could be seriously hurt. The park was commonly referred to as Class Action Park. Bruh. 10 reasons why Action Park was the most dangerous water park ever. 18 photos. It's in fucking Jersey. It's in Jersey. Oh. Oh. So many videos.
Some people got injured.
Some people got injured. Action Park injuries up in '86. Action Park charged with negligence in suit. Man drowns in pool at Action Park. Bruh.
That was 30 years ago. The world has changed. I mean, when my dad started the park,
that was 30 years ago.
Rides and bringing inventors in. Now it's highly regulated. Everything's engineered.
I love Action Park because it's so beautiful.
Huh? I got a feeling that it didn't change. Did it change? Yeah, lots of suggestions. Oh, they're just getting out of the... They're just getting out of the thing and pushing it down. Also, is that D-Coolette? Twananite D-Coolette? That... Okay. Immediately, my brain immediately spots the Sonic reference. Because that, of course, it's a reference to Antoine D-Coolette, the coyote, the scaredy coyote from the Archie comics and Sonic Sat AM. I'm so Sonic-brained, I see a name and I immediately think of that fucking blue hedgehog. The Alpine Slide.
The year is 1976. Gene Mulvihill, the head of entertainment company Great American Recreation, has added a new attraction to Vernon, New Jersey's Vernon Valley Ski Resort. 2 brand new Alpine slides were installed to keep business up in the off-season. An Alpine slide is a one-person cart ride, in which the rider rides down a hill in a smooth track.
Dangerous.
The rider has a brake lever in between their legs, giving them complete control of their speed.
This motherfucker just flipped right off it. He just went flipping. Also, hi, Miracle Weep.
The attraction had become popular for ski resorts in the late 70s, and Vernon Valley Ski Resort's Alpine Slide was advertised as an attraction for all ages, claiming, "We've had grandfathers."
I just watched a guy flip off that thing, and you're going down there with your kid in your lap?
I also have a picture showing a mother controlling the sled with an infant in her arms. It's that easy. After the success of the slide, Mulvihill went forward with his plans to expand the ski resort into a water park during the off-season.
That is...
He added 2 water slides and a racetrack. And more slides, a softball field, a tennis court, and a swimming pool were added shortly thereafter.
They're just adding everything to this thing.
The Vernon Valley Summer Park was rebranded to Action Park, a thrilling amusement park where you control the action. More slides and rides were added, and they began their big marketing push to draw audiences into their new water park.
God, those slides are really overpopulated. Like, really overpopulated.
When it's hot out, this is a great place to spend the day with your family. So let's Action Park because it's so beautiful.
Okay, how deep is that pool? I gotta wonder if you're swinging into it like that.
Race like a pro. It's great. These are the most amazing rides in the world. I love it here.
Yeah, clearly you've never been to Disneyland.
The park was revolutionary. Not only was it one of the first water parks of its kind in the United States, but it also marketed itself as the biggest. It was eventually home to 75
Okay,
rides,
so it's
40 of which
so
were
they're just
water
diving into a
slides.
straight up
Action
lake.
Park was split into 3 themed lands.
Bruh.
The first was
Motor World.
Motor World consisted of 3 types of attractions.
Okay, it's
land,
go-karting.
water, and air rides. On land,
Surprised they didn't round out the elements with some fire attractions. Yeah, I would not be surprised if just have flamethrowers smattered about.
land was the popular battle action tanks. For an additional fee, guests could ride inside tanks equipped with tennis ball cannons.
That's
The goal
pretty
was to
cool.
shoot the other tanks in the caged area on one of their targets, disabling their cannons for 15 seconds. Those that chose to ride the tanks were allotted 5 minutes to do so, and
Wow,
those that
that's
did not
actually
want to
pretty
ride
fun.
could pay to use a stationary cannon from the outside. Maintenance employees attempting to fix broken down tanks would be subject to fire from the rowdy guests, making the attraction a nightmare to
They
work
just
at.
shoot
The
at
other 2 land-based
people
Motor World
trying to
attractions were the
fix
Lola
stuff.
cars and the Super Go-Karts, both of which were kart race attractions.
Okay,
the Super
it's
Go-Karts
pretty
were driven
basic
on a
about
small
them.
loop. The karts themselves were designed to max out at 20 miles per hour, but the employees found that sticking a tennis ball in the governor device allowed the cart to go as fast as possible.
How the fuck does that work? Do you just shove it, you just shove a fucking tennis ball in there like a bead? Like shoving it up the fucking go-kart's pooper? And it just suddenly goes super fast? What top speed are we talking about?
With the new maximum speed being around 50 miles an hour.
That's fucking freeway speed. What the fuck? That is, no thank you.
Head-on collisions
No, thank
frequently
you.
sent guests to the hospital.
What
and
the
fumes
hell?
from the engines overwhelmed riders
50
at times.
miles
The
an
Lola cars
hour
were
in a
mini open
go-kart.
cockpit race cars driven on a longer track, and they cost an additional charge to ride. Their maximum speed could also be tampered with by park employees. These
Of
were
course
also
they
used after
could.
hours by the
Of course they
workers,
could.
sometimes being taken off the track and driven on the nearby highway. There
Ugh.
were 2 water rides in Motor World. The super speedboats were driven in a small circle around an island in a pond that
God,
also had a large
this-
population of snakes in it.
Okay, so now you're just into Snake
The
Pond.
guests would often
Great.
attempt to bump nearby boats,
Great.
as if they were on Motor World's other water attraction, bumper boats.
Of
These
course
were
they
boats
would.
placed in a small
Of course
pool
they
and were
would.
designed
Why
to
are-
withstand guests crashing
People just
into
try to
one another.
smash
These
into
were
each
known to
other with
leak
the
gasoline,
boats.
which once required a guest to be examined after too much fuel leaked on their skin.
Ugh.
The boats were also incredibly small, and riders with long legs had to position their feet off the side of the boat to fit. This led to injuries and bone fractures after collisions.
Who
Finally,
thought this
Motor
was a
World had
good
2 air-based
idea?
attractions. One was Space Shot, which was a typical drop tower ride and was one of the safest rides at the park, given it was
Safe is a relative term. In this case, meaning not immediately life-threatening. Though we do know that drop rides are pretty dangerous. Like there was this I can't remember what the name of it was, but there was like this drop ride where like one of the wires just snapped and took a girl's legs off. Like drop rides are no joke if you don't know how to maintain them. And judging from the safety record of this place so far, they don't know how to maintain them.
only open for Action Park's last operating year. The second air ride was another
I can't go on a
uncharted
drop
attraction.
ride. Like I can't go on a drop ride myself personally, just because I'm a pussy and I don't like heights. Granted, I've been on an airplane before. I've flown in like a 737 before, but that's different. There's a difference between just being in a tall thing and dropping at high speeds, and being in a plane and being flown by a professional pilot. Because as much as I fear the idea of dying in a plane crash, I do know the odds are astronomically low.
Slingshot, which was also fairly safe. This ride was a common amusement park and carnival ride, in which guests were shot
low
up on
does that
2
go?
bungee
Okay,
cords
yeah.
and flipped upside down as they flew through the air.
I can't even.
There's
God,
no
one
doubt
of those
that Motor
was
World had
probably
its dangerous
snap.
attractions,
Oh my
but
god!
this is just the beginning of what Action Park has in
I
store.
do not like
Another
it.
section of the park was
The Alpine attractions.
many non-water-based attractions were located in their own section of the park, sometimes labeled the Alpine Center. These included the aforementioned Alpine slides, as well as a bungee jump
God.
titled the Snapple Snap-Up Whippersnapper Ride.
What?
Originally
I have no idea whether they landed a lucrative Snapple sponsorship or it was just an oddly named attraction. It's probably the latter, honestly.
Only having 2 jump stations and then later 4, guests could jump off the tower for an additional fee. A skate park also had a short run at Action
Do
Park.
you just have to
It was
hold on to
poorly
that or
designed,
strapped
as
in?
it was surrounded
This is not a photo of the skate park. Action Park skate park was open only for one summer before it was filled in with dirt and closed. Wow.
by concrete
Okay.
and had uneven edges, which led to many injuries during its existence. Interestingly, Action Park also had an attraction entitled the Action Park Gladiator Challenge, partially based off of the popular American Gladiators TV show. This
interesting.
included obstacle courses and jousting matches against the Action Park Gladiators. Finally, Action Park had its own monorail
That's
called
always
the
interesting.
Transmobile. This went to the ski lodge, the Alpine
The Transmobile. God, you know, it's just the Batmobile speckled in trans flag colors. Oh, God, I need a Transmobile. I need that to get around. I'm just going to paint my Mustang with trans colors and make it the Transmobile.
Center and to Motor World. So far,
Or not.
Action
I
Park
have a
has proved
very
to be
nice
dangerous.
Mustang.
But where are the absolutely
It needs a
terrifying rides?
fresh coat of paint,
Where are
though.
the rides that are so insane that their mere existence is unbelievable? Moreover, where are the water slides?
Oh. How bad are
This
the
section
water
put
slides?
the action in Action Park. Waterworld had it all. It was home to the tidal wave pool, a 100 feet by 200 feet pool that could hold anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people.
Okay, I've been in one of those before. I've been in a wave pool before. Those are incredibly dangerous unless you have an adequate amount of safety staff on you, like on it at all times. It is so easy to get pulled underwater in those things. Like, as having had personal experience of having been in one of those as a teenager, it is not great to have one of those without having adequate staff. You know, that's probably the only fun thing about Gotham Knights, the fact that you have a trans bat cycle. Because the rest of the game I heard is pretty ass.
The pool's floor was slanted, and the further a guest went in it, the deeper it got.
Yep,
Waves
that's
were
exactly
20
how the
minutes
wave
on, 10
pool,
minutes off, and they
that's
could
exactly
reach
how
a
the
height
wave
of
pool
over
I went
3
to.
feet. This was challenging
Yeah, there's also a full meter for our non-US Defunctland visitors.
for swimmers of all skill levels, as the pool was hard to read and the fresh water was more difficult to swim in than salt water. A dozen lifeguards were on duty at the pool, and they would have to save around 30 people on a busy day. The Tarzan swing was a heavily advertised
Yeah, that
attraction
does
in which
sound
guests
right.
would swing on a 20-foot cable over a pool. This spring-fed pool was so cool that lifeguards would have to rescue guests that could not swim after the shock of the cold water.
How are you not going to have some kind of like thermal system in the water, like to keep it like at least somewhat warm? But granted, it is spring fed, so it is straight from a lake somewhere. So it's not surprising that it's cold like that.
This was also a popular attraction for men to pull down their pants or women to pull up their tops for the line
Of course
people
it
to
is.
see. The
Of
appropriately
course.
named Aqua Scoot gave guests a sled, with which they would slide down an assembly line style roller coaster,
How
hurtling
hot
them toward a
is
shallow
that?
pool that they would skip across.
Like,
if the
how
guest was
hot
not
is
in an
that?
ideal
That must
position,
be-
it would get caught
that's a
under the
metal
water,
slide.
sending the rider crashing forward. There were originally
Oh,
a pair
it's just
of
a
these slides,
conveyor
each
belt.
30 feet long, but a third slide was eventually added. The
That's-
diving cliffs had 2 jumping bases, one 23 feet and the other 18 feet tall, with the pool below being 16
Jumping
feet.
cliffs.
The pool was also for non-jumpers, some of which were unaware of the cliffs, which resulted
Jumping
in collisions.
cliffs.
There was only one lifeguard on duty, who had to work extra hard to make
What?
sure that no one was at the bottom of the
You
pool.
have one
The super speed
lifeguard
water
for a
slides,
whole
also known as
jumping
Geronimo
section
Falls,
here.
were a pair of high-speed vertical water slides.
Like, the
One
more
of
I
them was
learned,
steeper
the
than
more I'm
other,
baffled.
And both were dangerous. Near these was the safer Kamikaze, which was a more traditional tube slide. The kayak
Dog,
experience
if you
was
try
pretty
going on
self-explanatory.
that, like, if you try going on that without, like, balancing yourself out properly, you're gonna go flying off that thing.
And used
I was unable to find any footage for this attraction due to the fact that it closed in 1982 for reasons that will be discussed shortly.
underwater fans to simulate water rapids. This was dangerous, but that goes without saying at this point.
Underwater
a similar
fans.
ride, the Roaring Rapids, allowed guests to ride in a 1 or 2 person raft down a similar
This
river.
motherfucker just
The
straight
surf
up
hill
getting
had riders
out
slide down a multi-laned, multi-hill
and
slide
having
on
to
a mast.
realign his
Riders
shit.
could easily cross over to the adjacent lanes and cause collisions. And the 7th hill, nicknamed the Backbreaker, had an additional hump that would send riders flying, resulting in
Oh!
injury. The Colorado River Ride was
Bruh.
another raft ride, this time allowing up to 4
Imagine
people,
going
and it
down
went
that
through the
thing like
wooded
on
area
your
of the park.
back.
At one point, the riders would come to a fork in the river and
God
had to choose
damn.
between 2 paths. The first path took guests under a waterfall and a series of tunnels. The second path included a waterfall and another fork, with one path being steeper than the other. The ride also included a foot-tall jump that would
That
allow
one doesn't
riders
look
and
too
the
bad.
raft a short airtime. The
Why would you put
Aerodonium
a
was a
jump?
skydiving simulator that
Why
caused
would you
injuries
put a
when guests
jump
would try
on
to
that
stop
thing?
their falls with their arms. Waterworld also had a variety of other typical water slides and pools that were less notable, but there's one in particular that has yet to be mentioned.
Oh.
This is the attraction that made Action
And I'm not talking about the giant punching
Park
bags.
the most infamous, the Cannonball Loop. A tubed water slide with a vertical loop, similar to that of a roller coaster. It was rumored that during the testing of the attraction,
Why would you put... Like, I'm sorry. I'm just like... Why would you put a loop in a water slide? Bruh. I'm genuinely like my flabbers are gasted right now. Like, genuinely, why would you possibly think that that's a good idea? Like, especially because like loops on like roller coasters are made with like a teardrop shape because for the sake of like momentum and G and like reduction of G forces. That thing is perfectly circular. Like that, bruh.
Mulvihill offered $100 to employees who were willing to try it. Test dummies apparently came out of the loop without their
$100.
heads. When it was open, guests would be weighed, hosed down, and given a set of instructions to decrease the possibility of injury.
Yeah,
A
you just
hatch
gotta
was
cover
added to
them
the
in
top of the
fucking
loop to assist
baby
stuck
oil just
riders
to
that
make
could
sure
not
that
make
they
it
can
all the
get
way
through
the
it.
slide.
Like,
Many
what
guests that
is this
completed the loop
fucking
would come
Looney
out at the
Tunes
bottom,
bullshit?
suffering
What
from
the
bloody
hell?
noses or other injuries, either from hitting the top of the loop or the impact on the way down. The Cannonball Loop was indicative of a larger issue with Action Park, as many of the other attractions were poorly crafted by designers that were less than engineers.
No shit.
And most were designed to minimize cost rather than maximize
Dear Lord, he
safety.
just appeared every time you mention cutting costs. Oh, I've heard enough about Disney's history to know that who this motherfucker is.
The rides became even more dangerous when paired with the fact that the park sold alcohol
Yeah,
at many of the
also
convenience
true.
stands, often to minors. There was even a microbrewery near Motorworld.
Bruh.
Many of the guests visiting the inexpensive park came from low-income areas.
Everybody's
They did not have the
plastered.
necessary
Jesus
swimming
Christ.
skills to navigate some of the attractions and pools. Action Park also heavily marketed to Spanish populations, but there were no translations or translators for the guests when they visited. So
To
explaining
be fair, they
safety
also heavily marketed to Polish populations. Why the Poles specifically?
was virtually impossible.
You already know that Action Park has the most innovative and exciting rides.
God,
The
this
Alpine Slide,
old-timey
Grand Prix race rides,
crackliness
and
on the
spectacular
audio.
water rides. But Action Park means more than just great rides. It means super live shows, fantastic summer festivals, and scrumptious food and drink.
Don't even get me
including an
started.
authentic
I'm
German
hungry.
brewery. Come to Action Park because the rides aren't the only thing that's great. Labor Day Polish Festival, September 6th and 7th.
The majority of those employees were teenagers and were not equipped to handle the rowdy guests at the park. So on any given day, you could have an overcrowded water park.
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that this place stayed open as long as it did. I mean, we all know how American consumerism is and how little they actually care for safety until it becomes a PR problem.
with drunk teenagers that couldn't swim, riding shoddily built attractions supervised by teenagers that may or may not be able to communicate with them. It is no wonder what happened next.
Oh. Okay. I should have expected this.
On July 8th, 1980, a male employee was riding the Alpine slide when his cart went off the track. He hit his head on a rock during the crash, killing him. He was only 19. 2 years
Oh
later,
my
on
God.
July 24th, 1982, a 15-year-old guest was overcome by the waves of the tidal wave pool and drowned. On August 1st, a mere week later, a 27-year-old guest was riding the kayak experience when he was trying to re-enter his kayak after falling out.
Bruh.
When doing this, he made contact with the live wiring that powered the underwater fans. The electrocution sent him into cardiac arrest, and he passed after being rushed to the hospital.
The fact that this place was even allowed to open again in the 90s, like, bruh.
2 years later, in 1984, a guest died on the Tarzan swing after a heart attack, supposedly due to the unexpected shock from the cold water. That same year, on August 27th, a 20-year-old drowned in the tidal wave pool. And on July 19th, 1987, another guest drowned there, giving it the nickname the Grave Pool.
God
These deaths
damn,
are tragic,
dude.
and often overshadowed by the lunacy and legacy of Action Park. Interestingly enough, Action Park was able to avoid many lawsuits with these deaths and many other injuries, due in part to its reputation, and also the lax regulations New Jersey had for amusement and water parks.
So, because they had a reputation of just being a wacky, zany place where you can definitely get hurt, you gotta step it up to go to Action Park. Because of their reputation and lax regulations, they couldn't do anything about it.
Great American
Jesus
Recreation was
Christ.
even able to expand the Action Park brand to other parts of the country, opening Pocono Action Park in Tannersville, Pennsylvania in 1980, and Action Mountain in Pine Hill, New Jersey in 1984.
Jesus Christ.
Get wet at Action Mountain. Feel the thrill as you zoom through the black hole.
Yeah, let's go to Action Park, where people have definitely died. Like at this point, you should be going to Action Park to do like fucking ghost hunting, not for the attractions. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Portal, that does make sense. Like the idea that almost dying at
Pocono Action Park
like
had
almost
many repeat
dying
attractions as Action Park.
like. Yeah, almost dying at the amusement park definitely builds character. The only Pocono Action Park reference image I could find is this creepy clown Grand Prix ticket from eBay.
And was closed in 1991. Action Mountain ran into some financial difficulties with the IRS and the town it was located in, and was closed in 1986.
The tax man
so
coming
why did
for
the
ya.
original Action Park close? While Action Park and Mulvihill were
Park death probe still inconclusive. What do you mean inconclusive? It's clearly because it's like all of their shit was built by people who don't know what they're doing.
Lawsuits with many of the accidents and deaths. The two deaths in 1984 stemmed cases that rightfully plagued
Charged
the
with
park with a
negligence
variety
in
of
suit.
legal
Okay,
problems.
so the negligence
Mulvihill
in suit
eventually
was
pled
a
guilty to
death
5
negligence.
charges of insurance fraud. He and his associates claimed that the park saw over 1 million guests
Insurance
a year,
fraud.
and therefore the death toll was comparatively low. The local ER, on the other hand, said that they would have to treat 5 to 10 guests on some days. In response to the high amount of guests visiting the hospital,
so they
Action
got him
Park
the same
bought
way they
Vernon,
got
New Jersey,
fucking
new
Al Capone.
ambulances. Despite all of these issues, the downfall of Action Park wouldn't come until 1996, and it was actually due to Great American Recreation's financial issues and not the park itself. On September 2nd, 1996, Action Park ended its final season, still with the hope that it would reopen the next year.
It was all
However,
the way.
Great
It made it to the
American Recreation's bankruptcy
90s.
made it impossible for Action Park to continue
They went
operations,
bankrupt.
so it
Okay,
didn't
so
reopen.
it's not because
After
they
this,
got
the ski resort
sued.
and Action Park were handed from investor to investor, undergoing renovations for 2 years before reopening in
Yes, you can feel free to stuff me with cheese. I do like cheese. I am very hungry, Mumbina. You can always stuff me with cheese.
1998 as Mountain Creek. Safety was a priority under this management, and a valiant effort
Well,
was
that's
put
good.
forth to distance
I mean,
Mountain
I'm
Creek
glad
from
that
Action
they're
Park's
actually
reputation.
focusing on
However,
safety.
in 2010, Mountain Creek underwent a bankruptcy of its own, and the water park and ski resort was sold to the Mulvihill family. 2 years after this, in 2012, Eugene Mulvihill passed away, and his son Andrew Mulvihill took over ownership
They
of
just
the park.
took
2 years
over
later,
again?
In 2014, Mountain Creek was rebranded back to Action Park.
In fucking 2014, they rebranded back to Action Park.
The park reopened many of its classic attractions, and started construction on new, terrifying ones.
What?
The Skycaliber was another attempt at a 360-degree vertically looping water slide, although
What are you thinking?
it used technology to enhance safety. From my knowledge, it is yet
They also cut out the middleman by placing you directly in a coffin.
to open at
Bro.
the park, and there's almost no information on its status. The new Action Park tried to use nostalgia to draw guests back for 2 years, before
What
in
the
2016
fuck?
it was renamed back to Mountain Creek, in order to once again get away from
yeah,
the negative
it's
connotation
Mountain
of
Creek
Action Park.
again now.
Early this year it was announced that Johnny Knoxville would be producing, writing, and starring in a film inspired by Action Park, but it was not shot on location.
Yeah, of course he
Death is
would. That
heartbreaking,
would be Johnny
especially in
Knoxville.
environments
Of course
designed
it would
for
be Johnny
happiness and joy.
Knoxville.
Despite 6 people losing their lives there, Action Park is not remembered for its death toll. It is remembered for and by the kids that grew up with it and survived it. It is seen as a place where the quote-unquote popular and brave teens hung out.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, it's just like how like Disney World isn't known for the dozens of people who've died at Disney World. It's like it's not known for it. But Action Park is specifically known for how dangerous it seems to be. Like that's what people seem to know it for. Like, oh god damn.
The fact that it was referred to as Traction Park or Class Action Park doesn't matter, because its
Traction
inherent
Park.
danger is more of a fond memory to the majority of its visitors. The burns, bruises, and the fractured tibias were a rite of passage for its former guests. You think you're cool because you survived a tame roller coaster at Disney in California or at Universal in Florida? Well, welcome to Vernon, New Jersey.
Hey there, Alcor.
Were you able to survive Action Park?
Okay, so I think it's right to call them Class Action Park now. Like, the fact that they rebranded back to whatever it is, like Mountain Peak or whatever, and they're still open to this day, operating seasonally this year in Big 2026. That is wild. So wild. Like, I don't even know how they're still surviving to this day with all this that they're known for. But I guess now they're not really known for anything because they changed their name and distanced themselves from it. Even though they're now owned still by the same family. That is wild. Wildest park I've ever seen. Oh, like, rides built by people who don't know how to make rides. That is crazy stuff. But yeah. Let me know what you think about this park down in the comments below. Do you have any stories or any other things that Defunctland did not talk about the park about? Let me know that in the comments below. And of course, do not forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload and helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.